Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Tommy.
Hello.
And we got Mike.
What's up, guys? I'm Big Mike, and it is 2022 Electric Boogaloo. The train is in the station, just waiting for them to give us the good go-ahead to depart to 2023.
This has been quite the year for wrestling. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to discuss that when we get to the year.
Guys, I know we're in 3 different locations, but is anyone kind of warm in their place? I'm going to take my jacket off.
There it is.
I was wondering the whole time why he was wearing that jacket, and now I know. Well done, my good sir. Very well done.
It's all about presentation.
Yes.
Brand new Countdown City WrestleCast t-shirts.
I applaud that.
I'm the host. I haven't even ordered mine yet. Jeez.
Yeah.
Mike, so how quick did it come in the mail? So
I ordered it right before Thanksgiving, and it came in apparently a couple days ago. I don't check my mail on a regular basis.
Okay.
So pretty quickly, within a week or a half, close to 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Holy crap, it's December. I forgot to change my calendar.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I
just realized my calendar still say November.
Yeah,
the calendar it's the first day, but yes, it is.
Yeah. And so that is on the Redbubble website. You can search Countdown City Geeks, Countdown City Geekcast, Countdown City WrestleCast, and there's our first WrestleCast, official WrestleCast t-shirt with the new logo that debuted a few weeks ago, guys. So, yep.
I need to get
comfy, Mike?
Now I am. It was kind of warm.
Now you are. Yeah, it's kind of warm in there.
I was going to say, I know we were in that Adidas
it's like
jacket.
50 degrees outside, but I had to throw my fan on in here just to stay cool while we're doing this. But for the show, I will sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your sacrifice, my friend.
We do. Very much so. Today, we're going to recap WWE Survivor Series WarGames and discuss a whole lot about that event. It was arguably probably one of the better events of the year for WWE.
Yeah.
Yes. And go through our ratings, see how we did with our picks. And then we're finally going to discuss the PWI Women's 150 in a little more detail. Yes. Finally get a chance to do that.
Takeover. Sorry.
Stardom really did take over this list. I'll say that much for sure. So
did they?
Yeah. And so that's what we're on tap today. But before we get into that, let's talk first a bit of wrestling news. Mike, you had mentioned some rumors potentially going on here, especially around the William Regal front. What do you got?
Just people. In fact, right before Survivor Series WarGames, speaking of which, Triple H had put out a tweet about looking forward to Survivor Series WarGames, but it's not going to be the same without this man. And then it was like a little video of William Regal saying WarGames over and over, which we have all come to love, and it's immortalized now from NXT days. And that right off the bat got people speculating. Then, of course, with the storyline that has transpired in AEW after Full Gear, the Dynamite after that, where Moxley showed up and told Regal to run and never show his face again. And then this past week, Moxley and Hangman got thrown out of the arena. So William Regal decided he could come back with MJF, who was making his first appearance who didn't show up that first Wednesday afterward in Chicago. And
good timing, right?
Interesting timing. Yeah, like we
Yeah.
talked about what maybe that original plan was. And then basically at the end of a kind of lengthy MJF promo, he turned on William Regal, hit him in the back of the head with Nux, and the announcer sold it like he had been killed, talking about his previous neck injuries and his brain bleed. So there's a lot of suspicion now that he is actually leaving AEW, that either his contract's up in December or that Tony may agree to allow him to be bought out. Because as far as everything I've heard online and stuff over the years, he was like Triple H's right-hand man. We know what he did in NXT, but he was also like their talent scout, did a lot for them, and people feel like it was bad timing for Regal that literally right after he got released or whatever, Vince steps down, Triple H takes over. You know, they kind of assume that had he stayed there a little bit longer, then he would have stayed there.
Right.
It's true. I mean, obviously, if whatever makes him happiest, whatever was best for him. I would say I'd be a little disappointed only because you can't come in and create a super group, turn on them, be part of one of the biggest heel angles going. Not to mention a crowd booed you against this huge heel that's getting super face pops, and you turn them back in like 30 seconds. You know, so clearly Regal's still a master on the mic and at what he does. So we're disappointed to see him leave because of what he's involved in. But, you know, if it's best for him and, you know, obviously him and Triple H seem to have a strong bond, you know, that'll be cool. So either way, we'll kind of see what happens over the next few months.
I feel like on the WWE side, he'd probably be better suited in a back office role.
Yeah, that
like
seems to imply what he would wind up doing. Like he's not going to come back to the commissioner role per se, but be kind of Triple H's right-hand man, if you will.
Yeah, and maybe that's the best thing to get him off TV. I mean, yeah, but, you know, he did start a hell of a group, Blackpool Combat Club, and I'm sure that group's going to keep going. It is interesting to see where MJF goes from here, though. You know, I mean, we predict he's going to hold the title for a good while as a heel champion, but I'm curious to see who he surrounds himself with, you know, if anything. Most heel champions do, you know.
But I don't know if he will, because, like, I not to get too off on what was going on last night, but, you know, he introduced a new belt with Burberry straps, which is hideous. His promo went on for a little bit too long, but I think the ending of attacking Regal was perfect. Again, I want him to be the ultimate heel. You know, he came out and said a bunch of stuff, which I think is funny because you know it's not true because he's the heel. But I feel like some people are online are like, yes, everything he says is true. You know, he came out and said, I'm already the best AEW champion that there's ever been. I'm a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson. And you're sitting here going, what a heel. On a personal note, I feel like there's some people that are like, yeah, everything he says is true. And I'm like, no, he's a heel. It's, you know, he can't out-wrestle Bryan Danielson, right? But
yeah,
anyways.
very few people on this planet can out-wrestle.
Yes, no, you know, but he's being a great heel. So yeah, it would be unfortunate. Like, it's not that he needs William Regal as the mouthpiece, but William Regal's involvement in the way that played out just adds so much to it. So,
yeah.
You know.
Tommy, your thoughts on all this with Regal? I mean, it sucks to see him off screen, but yeah, I mean, your thoughts on the situation if this is true, where it's going, you know?
I would prefer him. This is personal preference. I would prefer him stay in AEW because just him on screen and talking and his relationship with Excalibur on commentary, which I love how Excalibur was just heartbroken over. It's like, how could he do this? I was like, does Viper need to talk to you for real about your relationship with Regal? But no, I would, on a personal level, I'd like him to stay in AEW only because I love what he does on screen. I feel like he brings just a talking role that's just, you know, it's William Regal. I mean, you can't beat that. But at the same time, any role he has in any company, the company has to benefit. Honestly though, I would trust his position way more in Triple H's WWE than I ever would in Vince's, because because I couldn't believe they let him go in the first place. I was like, okay, they're getting rid of everyone else, but if you get rid of William Regal, that's just suicide. And they let him go. And I was like, that's just suicide. And I was like, do you just not want a company in the morning or what? What's your problem? And, so no, but he could absolutely go right back and just, again, like you said, be a backstage guy. Because I feel like right now, honestly, now, the way they're using their on-screen talent in WWE, I feel like they're fine right now. Finally. I can't believe I'm saying that. It took me like 5 years to finally say that. But they're finally okay with their on-screen talent. So I feel like he's better backstage, telling people what they can do to make better. Now, that being said, I just had this really interesting thought. I think he will be tons of fun as like an Austin Theory manager because that would be hilarious. But either place, this is not going to change my opinion of Regal. Like like how some fans get, well, if he goes with WWE, I'm done with him. No, wherever he goes, I am still a William Regal fan. I don't care. I've never cared where he was. I've always been a fan. So yeah, I like to say in AEW, but wherever he goes, I'm in.
I feel like this is the age now with Triple H in charge and with what's going on at AEW. There's Eric Burns. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Burnsy.
I feel like now we have a true competition. There's a lot of talent that wants to go to both companies. Both are, at least for now, being treated well. And there's a true competition for talent. People have options, and it's kind of nice. I don't think this is definitely as cutthroat as the Monday Night Wars days were.
Nah.
Because you get them mentioning the history. You get them mentioning the history of the companies. Some New Japan references as well, which gives me hope that maybe one day down the road we will get a forbidden door that is AEW, New Japan, and potentially WWE involved. Now, granted, we're kind of seeing that at Wrestle Kingdom. I think we've said this before on the show.
Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of backstage promo where you have Carl Anderson, Kenny Omega, and somebody from New Japan just there to kind of just tease the fans a bit,
But if you're Gato, do you bring out Okada and make him pin both of them?
Yes,
probably.
Yes, 100%.
Probably.
Yes, you do.
Something like,
yes.
New Japan best.
Just randomly.
Because that's just best booking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Terrell. Yes, we're going to get into that. Just talking a bit of wrestling news. Yep. That is definitely on tap about Survivor Series here.
Yep.
All right. Don't think there's any other crazy wrestling news right now. I know somebody did ask Triple H about the whole getting rid of like themed pay-per-views around a match, specifically Hell in a Cell. And Triple H did pretty much, in a way, confirm that is going to go away. Like, it's supposed to be a blow-off. Why do we have an event for it every year? He basically said it without really saying it. When it comes to WarGames, though, I feel like or Survivor Series, I should say, I feel like they need to keep WarGames at Survivor Series. It's hard to decide later on with the setup of the double ring with the cage. If you start building up thinking, hey, we should do a WarGames for this, have you already sold the tickets with that in mind? Because now you have to like really affect the seating and everything.
Well, yeah. Even if you don't keep it at Survivor Series, it definitely has to be planned well ahead. Like even in NWA WCW, it was usually around the October, November pay-per-views and things. They would have their version of War Game pay-per-view or the World whatever. And so no, definitely it's, and I just think you're right. Like at least for now, letting it stay with Survivor Series for a while would probably be good.
Give Survivor Series meaning again. Like before we just wondered what the hell was the point of Survivor Series. It just didn't make any sense. And now that you have what we got this past weekend, I'm excited. I hope they keep it there every year. WarGames is a great way to kind of end the year.
Good.
I was gonna say, so I want to tell you something funny I read on Twitter.
Okay. Oh boy!
It's like I love people's lack of ability to think. Some dude on Twitter, and I wish I had screenshot the tweet. I don't know if I shared it or anything. It says something to the effect of, why do they have to leave up the second ring in between the War Games matches? Why can't they take the ring down? And I was like,
bro.
See, you don't believe people's ability to just not think. I have to assume that they're trolling because I don't want to believe that people are really that dumb. I have to believe everything on the internet like that is a sarcastic troll.
Yeah.
Because I can't live in a world where someone legitimately had that thought and they didn't understand why not. Oh.
I want to
troll.
agree with you. I want to agree with you, Mike. I really do. But then you see some of the videos that people have and some of the Karens that are running around there and everything, and yeah, people really are that dumb. And Burns just said it right here.
Dude, he says that whenever I post stuff like this all the time. He has the Ron White meme ready to go. The only reason he posted here is because he couldn't figure to show it on screen.
You can't fix
but dude,
stupid.
He has that meme ready to go because whenever I talk about stuff like this, dude, he is the first person on my and he's actually my anchor to reality because he'll just come with me and he'll just be like, "You can't fix stupid."
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
it's feel like George McFly in Back to the Future too. You're right. You're
right. I get it. You want to think people are not that dumb, but unfortunately, Mike, people are that dumb.
I know.
Just take pride in you being a teacher. That hopefully none of those are students that you've taught. That you've done well enough that they know better.
Look, in all fairness, if I have kids that know what WarGames is, then we can at least have a conversation. What I was going to throw in there real quick, we were talking about the WarGames and stuff, is like I can just see Vince texting Triple H or the next time they get together for holidays. Okay, you can keep WarGames. That's not a bad idea. But what about SmackDown versus Raw? What about fighting for the brands?
No,
like he just tries to bring that back in.
And he's like, oh no, yeah, totally, we'll do that next year, and like completely doesn't bring it up, and then he'll get the Vince like, Hunter, we talked about this last year. Oh, dude, I completely forgot.
But that one guy on the team is from SmackDown, so it's like the same thing,
But look, Vince, I swear, next year we're absolutely gonna do it. I am writing it down right now.
Shit.
It's like so if next year happens, like what happened? I lost the paper and I completely forgot about it all over again.
Now I literally just want a reenactment or like a TV show of like Triple H dealing with Vince after he's retired.
How is it when they get together at the holiday season? How was Thanksgiving? That kind of thing. Yeah. So
why is Austin Theory not the champ right now? We have a different story. He'll be there eventually. We just slightly different story.
He's the U.S. champ. No, yeah. Well, that's kind of a good segue to get into what we are going to recap today, and that is, of course, WWE Survivor Series WarGames. And I said it right off the top of the show. We're excited about this Survivor Series. The first time in a long time about it, and it did not disappoint. I really,
well,
I mean, some okay.
There was one particular match.
You have a bias of one that disappointed you, Mike. So
no, not even the disappointment in that. It's literally one match, and it's a person in the match, not the other person.
It's right in the middle of the show. I think I know what you're talking about. But anyway, really did like the fact that this event was bookended by the WarGames matches. The women starting the show, the men ending the show, which made sense. If you're not ending the show, you want to be the first one on the show, and it allowed them to really, at least through the storyline on the backstage, build up. Will he or won't he? What side is Sami Zayn really on with the men's? But as far as the women's WarGames match, I would potentially argue that that was probably the match of the night. I really enjoyed it. I really loved every facet of it. I thought how creative they got. I really expected Nikki Cross to look under every corner of both rings for weapons before she came in, because she kept throwing shit in there. I thought it would be hilarious. So,
I think it was technically longer than the men's, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
By about a minute, actually. It was longer by a minute, technically. Yeah. So, it was funny because we were watching, Tina and I were watching at home, and then Ryan Angela came over because we were going to record Island of Reality that evening after WarGames finished. So they kind of showed up in the middle of the men's WarGames match, and were like, "Oh God, this is crazy!" This stuff, and they realized that like everybody on the bloodline except for Sami Zayn looked like The Rock. So it was like, yeah, they're related technically, So what was that meme that you always hear? Like every guy's in there, and then Mark,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
on
so-
TikTok. I'm rocking with you because you're rocking with me.
yeah,
And Mark.
Yep.
then Mark.
Whatever it is.
And Mark.
But back to the women's match. Thoughts on the result? I mean, let's see. I mean, Tina and I picked the
Thought it
women.
was the wrongest result. Is that what you want to
Yeah,
hear?
well, the decision to do that, right? I mean,
No, I mean,
I was
the minute they
surprised.
brought Becky down on back on SmackDown, I kind of figured, I was like, you're not gonna. I mean, I guess there were little ways you could have done that. You could have had Alexa or Mia Yim eat the pin. We were a little surprised. I thought they were going to get a little more Rhea Ripley dominating, because it seemed to be that's where they're going to set up. So I loved, even though they lost, I loved the interaction with Becky and Bayley. We need those two. I mean, obviously that's what looks like they were going to set up at the SummerSlam. Now that she's back, I would love to see that. Like Becky just calling her up when she was like on the ground, like "Get up, B, get up, B." And she was like, "Oh, okay." But then also Rhea and Becky,
yeah,
that was also teased. Which, yes, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. And then again, it's not that I don't like Bianca or her reign. I just feel like you either need to really solidify someone as a solid challenger, or time to put it on someone else for a while, freshen things up. So I kind of hope that's what's coming with Rhea Ripley, but we'll see.
I feel like they kind of teased 3 of the 4 final 4 of the women's Royal Rumble: Rhea Ripley, Bayley, and Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
and the
definitely.
4th potentially could be, I don't know, Asuka. Interesting to see you put in there.
Unless Charlotte comes back.
Oh geez, don't even. That's like saying Alabama's going to sneak into the top 4 of the CFP after this weekend. Just don't.
I mean, both of those examples have more than enough proof from previous iterations and times. So
yeah, true.
What other matches stuck out for you guys for the evening, besides the WarGames matches?
The U.S. title match was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah,
I love how they started out by both clotheslining Austin Theory out of the ring. I think Lashley hit it first, and then Rollins looked like he was going to go at Lashley and like moved around him and did it again. I kind of figured if Austin Theory was going to win, it was going to be, like we said, a sneak win. And it makes sense. But again, just a little bit Triple H has done in these last couple weeks to get rid of the Money in the Bank. And they even said it with what Austin Theory said. Like, they basically vocalized the way we all felt. We were never going to believe a cash-in on Roman. He come out and said in the interview, the bloodline's always there. There's no way. There's 4 other guys there. But I think, in a way, he was saying, none of us would have bought that. Like, he wasn't ready. Now you're giving him a mean streak. You're getting rid of the selfie crap. And again, it's going to take some time to develop. Like we were talking about, with AEW developing some of those faces now over time. Theory now on a road to eventually be believable in a role against main event guys. So I like what they did there with that. AJ Finn, I mean, you can't have a bad match with those two.
I'm hoping this leads to a WrestleMania like tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I honestly, regarding that cash in, if he hadn't cashed in when he did, I was going to predict that he was going to do it at WarGames, because I honestly would have expected, the team, I would have expected the Bloodline to lose, be completely laid out, and Roman to be in the ring and get a cash in, but still not be successful. Like, they would still put that on Roman. That's really what I thought was going to happen. And it would have kind of solidified Roman still being able to keep the title without the Bloodline. Because, it would have been logistically a nightmare for them to get the cage out of the way. So the Bloodline, you figure everyone else is going to throw the Bloodline out of the ring, leave Roman there for Austin Theory to get a shot.
Yeah.
and Roman would still win. That's how I thought it was going to go down had he not
I would
cashed
have
in when
loved
he did
that.
for the U.S. title. Yeah. So, but with the fact that he cashed in when he did, that kind of changed my thinking going into War Games, which is why I said, okay, I think the Bloodline's going to win. You know, it kind of cleared that hurdle. But yeah, it's definitely a different way for Austin Theory. They didn't completely. This is what you feared, right? All the guys Vince was building up. Some of them had some potential. You know, like Austin Theory has potential to be someone great. Osmosis, not so much. So you know, it's just.
I mean, again, that previous show, his match with Strowman wasn't horrible.
Yeah,
for what they did, but yeah, no, he's not going to be a world champion main event.
Everyone expected to completely bury everyone Vince was bringing up, but like he kind of had something with Austin Theory, and you you got rid of the briefcase, but still got him in a situation where he's winning. Basically, the mid card titles have always been the hardest working guy in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of historically what it's been, and he's done that. You know, he's adjusted well. I like him as the U.S. champion right now. It's a good way to kind of build him up. Now, who challenges Roman? You know, people are wondering like the Cody Rhodes return to Rumble, potentially rumored.
It's got to be.
Yeah, for sure.
It's got to be.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a hell of a match too. So with the triple threat. But go ahead, Tommy.
I mean, go ahead,
I was gonna say I do feel like Triple H does have a bit of a soft spot for Austin Theory because you know he was in the way back in NXT, so I feel like he didn't hate him. He just like didn't love the gimmick Vince was giving him. So he decided to try to scrub that off. You know, it's like this doesn't work. Let's set this away.
I bet were Triple H in charge at the time, he would not have won the Money in the Bank either. So I don't think he would have won the briefcase.
No,
had Triple H be in charge. So I agree.
I mean, if Vince was still in charge, we would have had War Games to begin with, right?
Well,
it would still been an NXT show. So yeah, but I mean,
Raw versus SmackDown.
With rosters that are going to change literally the very next night.
Yeah. I did enjoy the AJ Styles Finn Balor. I mean, it's never a bad one between those guys. It was pretty amazing. And then of course Ronda and Shotzi was just really your throwaway match. It just
I have no interest in Ronda Rousey as champion or honestly in these I'm not trying to be mean, but like I know she was a badass MMA fighter and probably could easily kick all of her asses. I get that. And I know legitimately she has skills, but she doesn't have great wrestling skills. And not to take stuff from the JAS Blackpool Combat Club thing, but she doesn't have sports entertainment skills for WWE. And even with the promos, she can do moves. Her selling, her just like believing her in the ring is so difficult. I don't care that she's SmackDown champion. Like I wanted Sachi to win just to get someone else in there, and she tried that DDT over the ropes and Ronda had no idea what she was trying to do and how to take it. And just sloppy.
Yeah, it's still green. And I know she had the time off and everything. And she's still rusty a bit. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she had a great rookie year in WWE. She really did a remarkable year with everything. It's just that now that she's in this position now, she's back, and yes, I'm glad she's back. It's really awesome to see that. But they haven't really built anything around her that's useful for her. Like, a part of me was like, okay, was the point of this whole match potentially for Shayna to turn on Ronda? Because that would have been a hell of a way to do this,
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, you could have built something like that for the two of them potentially fighting at Rumble or WrestleMania. That's something we got to kind of do because it's getting to that point. Shayna has always been in Ronda's shadow.
Yeah,
even back in the MMA career days, it was always Ronda and her three best friends. That's really kind of how it was treated. And they were called the Four Horsemen, but it was really Ronda plus three. That's always how it's been. And Shayna, I think they could really build a storyline of her being jealous of that. And if you get two very experienced MMA fighters in a high-profile match and build it up correctly, that can mean something, And that's kind of what I was really kind of expecting. Like, are we getting this so that they can sell that? But Didn't happen.
Do you think Ronda knows how to do the kick off the top turnbuckle and roll over when Shayna has her in the sleeper? Because that's the only way they can finish a Shayna match. So
I think maybe if they practice it a lot, but I see what you're doing there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think with Ronda, you notice that when it's against opponents she doesn't have a lot of experience with, and she doesn't trust very well. She doesn't take those big spots very well, the DDT ring thing, So it's a bit of trust she has to build,
I heard someone, probably on Coldaholic or something, compare it to like Brock with Ambrose at WrestleMania 32. That they didn't want to do any big spots. They just wanted to do a quick match and go home. And I was like, oh, there's similarities. I see it.
The other way, yeah. When you think about it, it was. And I was frustrated with that match being there that night because I really expected. I wanted to see. We were there. I wanted to see Ambrose go crazy.
Yeah, we were hoping for that, but then we found out later, like, well, they didn't want. It's like, well, then why the hell did they even have the match? Never mind. So
yeah, I was disappointed in it, and then we find out later that Ambrose was as well, or Moxley, because Lesnar didn't want to do anything. So
yeah.
Finally, the Bloodline, the main event, the whole storyline, the whole night. Whose side is Sami Zayn on? Is the door closed on this Sami Zayn Bloodline thing, or what do you think this is going from here?
I think for a while I saw some people interesting saying, because apparently at the end of the show they're hugged, they're all on the line. You see Jay and Roman looking in, but some people are saying they're looking at Solo, not at Sami, and that maybe because Solo never really does the one finger up thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of quiet, and I don't know. Some people said something about, I don't really remember too much, but in the match, almost like going in on his own or something like that. So that'd be kind of intriguing because, like we were saying, Solo, I feel like this helped him really look like a legit mauler. I said kind of a Haku type. Our friend Jesse said, a little bit of Samoa Joe with Haku.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it even
mix.
better.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
So, give him some seasoning, and down the road, him against Usos or Roman would be pretty crazy. So I feel like at least for a while, maybe until at least WrestleMania, Sammy's going to be good with the Bloodline, in my opinion.
I think that stare, and I noticed it that night too, because I was watching the end to see what was going to happen, and I thought it felt to me that Roman was looking at Sammy. And the reason I say that is in that I'm thinking down the road here that Roman's going to turn on Sammy and Kevin Owens is going to be right. If you don't do this, they're going to turn on you. And reason why I think that is Roman is setting up this whole, he wants everyone to acknowledge him. But that night, the fans were acknowledging Sammy. They're acknowledging what he did. He's the one getting all the popularity from this whole ordeal. And I think Roman is starting to see, maybe they're planting the seeds of Roman potentially seeing that, why the attention is always on him, what he's going to do, what he does. And I don't know if they'll actually make that turn before Mania. Maybe they do, and it prevents Sammy from trying to help him, if potentially lose the title. But I think that they're planting the seeds of it down the road. Roman is going to turn on Sammy because he's becoming bigger than the tribal chief.
Yeah.
That's where I see it going. And that's kind of the idea that I got in my head. And maybe this is my experience so many years of watching wrestling. It's very much an Evolution and Randy Orton kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Or it was Evolution, right? When he,
So
that comes down.
And he did, he did.
That's kind of the feeling I get, especially if Roman loses the title and Sammy manages to win it back from whoever takes it from him down the road. Can you imagine that parallel?
Sammy beating Cody Rhodes, that'd be
amazing.
Sammy beating The Rock.
Imagine Cody beating Roman, right? Imagine Cody beating Roman at Mania, losing the rematch, and Sammy gets his shot at SummerSlam and beats Cody for it.
Some long-term booking, but that'd be interesting.
I'd be down for that though.
Yeah,
because
now that Triple H is in charge of the creative, you can start booking this long term, and it is a good possibility because you feel like with Vince, he never really did that. You know,
No,
he never got too intricate with it.
No,
His
because by the
short-term
time he
booking
got to the
was
next
there.
SummerSlam, he would have forgot what he did, and he would have hoped to bring in
Put in
Brock
Lesnar,
or
yes.
Goldberg,
Yeah.
or some big name. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's
know-
that's the vision I got from it at the end there. So,
You know what we had seen in 3 months? Goldberg. They love Goldberg. Bring him out.
I just feel like this has always been the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, or if you want to make this parallel, I mean, they do look similar if you ask me. The Kevin Steen El Generico comparison. I mean, come on, guys, they look similar. I'm just saying they look similar. The movesets are.
I thought they
movesets are
confirmed
similar.
that they're not related.
I know, but the moveset is similar, though, is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Sami Zayn, El Generico, they must have trained together. They must have.
Probably
it's
that in
one of
Mexico.
those. It's one of those weird doppelganger things, and there's actually like
I
a crazy
get it.
story. There's 2 Major League Baseball players that look exactly the same, have the same first and last name. They're both like pitchers or something, right? But
Yeah.
they're not at all related. They literally look like twins.
That's
They're
hilarious.
the same age. They play in 2 different Major League teams, but they're not related.
Who's this?
Literally, it's crazy. This is actually very true. I had to look up the name of the person, but or persons because it's actually pretty intriguing. So
Everybody does. I know. I know.
the confusion, the confusion. It's one of those weird doppelganger things, right?
Yeah.
So
But anyway,
when I was heavier, when I was a bit chunkier before I lost all the weight, everyone thought I looked like Danny McBride when I had this growing up. Just throw it out there. Kenny Powers was a nickname I got when I was playing softball, but
that's awesome.
You're fucking out kind of thing, right? So it's one of those things people just look alike. I see the confusion though.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, if you compare those two to those two, like just like Generico was always in Steen's shadow, Sami Zayn's always kind of been a Kevin Owens shadow, and I feel like this has been like his breakout year for sure, and everyone realizes,
So we were talking about Sammy and El Generico. Are Kevin Steen and Kevin Owens related?
I heard that they were, but that could have been made up. I'm not sure. It could have been a dirt sheet thing, because I read it somewhere, but I couldn't tell you for life before it was. I think they trained together too, which is why but that's why Owens does use a package power driver. He says he didn't want to step on Steen's toes, so that's why he said
all Canadians look the same. So sorry, I don't know.
God.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, I've actually found the picture of the guys. So let me share this really quick with you guys, and I can show you what.
Yeah, because I actually do want to see this now that you brought it up.
Yeah. Where's my link? Here we go. All right, here we go. So their names are both Brady Fake. They're both 6'4". One is in the Oakland A's organization, and they're both pitchers. One's in the Oakland A's organization, the other's a Texas Rangers organization. Red hair, red beards, everything like that. Both of them actually went under Tommy John surgery, had the same doctor, but they're not. They're not related.
Whoa. Has anybody ever seen them pitch in 2 different cities on the same day? Are we sure they're 2 different people?
They're 2 different people, different minor league systems. And they actually did.
I've seen Mrs. Doubtfire. I know it's possible.
They took DNA tests, and it confirmed that they are not related.
That's
very
insane.
Similar ancestries, but they're not related.
That's similar ancestry thing. One branch just broke off from the other, man, because
even right here, same amount of Germanic ancestry, 53%, and are not related.
Are we sure they're not the same person?
I'm just saying.
You're saying they're not related, but am I related to myself? I am myself.
Just saying. The guy on the left, Kevin Steen. The guy on the right, Kevin Owens. It's that similar thing. It's potentially confusing.
We went a long way out of our way to make this joke.
I know, but I respect
said it was a joke. This is true.
Long-term storytelling, man. I'm a writer. I gotta appreciate it, bro. I got to.
That's what we're doing here.
Chekhov's gun.
All right. So how do we do with our picks? Mike, Tommy, and Tina all went 3-2.
Still did better than I thought I did.
For the first time in a long time, I pulled off a Tez. 5-0.
Way to go.
I can't believe it. Yeah, sorry, just on
Bernsey, they're just lying to you, man.
Okay, Bernsey. So let me explain. You read that after Elon Musk took over Twitter and he allowed fake news everywhere. So just double check your sources.
Don't believe the blue check. It's probably bought and paid for.
Just saying. You can't really trust the Twitter verification if, just check your sources. I'm just saying. So
it's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah,
Jason
I went
5-0. Wow.
5-0. Pulled its heads. I couldn't believe it either. So now on to our WrestleCast ratings for the events. See? Right here for you, bro. Just, never can't believe everything you read on the internet, right? WrestleCast ratings 0 to 5. 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. I'm going to give you guys Tina's rating real quick. It was very simple. She gave it a 4.75. Really enjoyed the event. And then there was the Ronda match right in the middle. That's literally how she put it out to me. So 4.75 for that.
I'm going to go ahead and refrain from grading it because I didn't watch the entire thing yet. I'm going to. I saw a lot of clips. I just didn't watch the whole thing yet. So I want to be fair and wait till I watch the whole thing.
Okay. Mike, what is your rating for WarGames?
I'm going to go 4.5 with almost similar reasoning. It was a really good, solid show, except for that match.
The Ronda match.
And I know with WarGames it kind of has to be this way, but I don't know. I feel like one more match or a little bit more could have been in there, but it was a good show with what was there.
I have this one as a 4.75 as well as Tina. I agree with that. And maybe the reason it's only 0.25 off is because that Ronda match was only 7 minutes long. I think if it was longer, it might have brought the rating down some more. But the rest of the night was great. The WarGames matches were great. I thought the show paced very, very well, considering, started with a high, came down a little bit, came down way down here, and then just, it bounced.
That was an NXT feel, wasn't it? 5 matches.
Right.
Wow. It was a takeover. No wonder.
Yeah. Bernsey gives it a 4 as well. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, let me kind of do a little edit here. That brings our overall rating for WarGames to 4.67.
Nice.
Pending Tommy's rating, obviously. So that might change after you give your rating as well. So
4.67 asterisk.
Yeah. So, good stuff.
Nice.
And final note I'll say on this, please, I really hope this is something that continues every year at Survivor Series. You can keep calling it Survivor Series WarGames. It makes sense. Back when it was the original in elimination tag matches, those were cool. This is kind of a good way to update that. You really get the whole faction warfare storyline kind of bit of it. And it's more intriguing to fans when it does WarGames. And you can get real creative with it, So see, Vince, there are some good things that came out of WCW that you can use. Right?
He's sleeping. Don't disturb him. He's
okay. All right. With that, now let's move into our discussion of the PWI Women's 150. And this, we had mentioned the top 10 previously. And I kind of want to go through, I'll just first kind of mention what the criteria was. I apologize. Normally I would have a graphic up here that lists everything. I just didn't get a chance to make one. It's been crazy. But I will say that interestingly enough, the evaluation period for this 150 was October 1st, 2021 to September 15th, 2022. Didn't make it a full 12 months because they were trying to get this, as they note on here, allow sufficient editorial lead time. So they had to get the editing in there. Ranking criteria didn't really change. In-ring achievement, influence, technical ability, breadth and quality of competition, and their activity. For the activity, it was a minimum of 10 matches over the evaluation period or 1 match within 6 months of this evaluation period. So, and yes, as Tommy mentioned off the top, Stardom was a heavy hitter in this one. And, you've been singing the praises of Stardom a lot, Tommy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Stardom heavily involved with New Japan now?
They are now. So a couple of years ago, Bushiroad, who owns New Japan bought Stardom, because Stardom did go up for sale, because there was a brief fear that WWE was going to buy them, and everyone said hell no. So Bushiroad made a deal with what is the owner's freaking name? Anyway, made a deal with them, and
Carl?
he bought. Can't remember. Shut up. Anyway, and he bought, and they bought Stardom. That's why Stardom World started to take off as their streaming service, and that's why you had the historic crossover show, which was last week too. I think that was last Saturday as well. I think, or week before. They created the IWGP Women's Championship now because of that relationship. That Kyrie is the first champion.
Nice.
Very nice.
So just a reminder to everyone, like we mentioned the top 10 before in a previous show. I'll just go through it again.
Sorry. So Rossi Ogawa, he owns Stardom. That was his name. I can't remember his name.
Number 10, Taya Valkyrie. Number 9, Starlight Kid. Number 8, Charlotte Flair. Number 7, Saya Kamitani. Number 6, Jordan Grace. 5, Jade Cargill.
I knew I was waiting for Mike's face.
Hang on. I'm waiting for everyone to finish groaning that's listening to the show. Number 4, Becky Lynch. Number 3, Thunder Rosa. Number 2, Bianca Belair. And number 1 is Sayuri.
Yes.
So,
bastard! I saw that. You son of a bitch.
I just don't know who she is.
Some of the honorable mentions, the ones that just barely missed. We had Tasha Steelz at 11. Miyu Yamashita at 12, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD at 13, Masha Slamovich at 14, and Mickie James at 15. Mickie James, in potentially the twilight of her career, is still in the top 25 of this list, which is pretty amazing stuff. So
it speaks to how good she is, man. So
yeah.
How did 18 get there?
Ronda Rousey
ahead of Purrazzo, ahead of what Mandy Rose has done this year.
Okay,
I have to agree with that. Why I thought Mandy Rose, Ronda. Okay,
of course you did. You probably thought she should have been first.
No, but you look at the people that she's ahead of, it doesn't make sense.
Actually, you know what, Mike? Yeah. I'm with you, because she's also ahead of Utami Hayashishita, and that's absolute. That's right? BS.
I agree.
I
don't even know who that is.
And Ronda's 18 makes no damn sense to me.
Yeah, ahead of Shoko Nakajima, ahead of Tom Nakano.
I'm a little mad now, actually.
Ahead of Princessa
Suhate.
Yeah, that too. High end.
Yeah, she's from Mexico.
How was Maki Ito 37?
Ahead of Roxy?
Wrestle?
Yeah, there's a Roxy. Is that Roxy's debut on the list? By the way, I have to check that.
It should be, unless
no, she was in the last year, and she was 28 last year. So they actually had her drop a bit, which is interesting because she won the ROH title, but I don't know if it's just the
because of a slow start in NXT. Well, not even really.
I mean, because she won it, and then she didn't really get to defend it very much.
Yeah.
And, so yeah.
Rhea Ripley's at 42.
What?
Yeah.
This is a weird list.
A little bit. Mm-hmm. Billy Starks is on there at 52.
I think if that's the top 10, this is a really weird list.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember her, because was she at the one of the shows we went to, Billy Starks, or she was at the one before that at MPW. She's like 17. She's like a kid.
Yeah, she is a kid. Yeah, you're right.
There's like another one somewhere I forgot, but the one Mia Friday. I don't know if she's on the list.
I don't know if she's on. She's like 17 too.
Yeah, she's out of, I think, Booker T's. I don't know if she's out here. We'll look. Julia's all the way at 57. I'm sure that upsets you. Holiday's at 58.
Okay, so Julia and Holiday being in not even in the top 50 is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
For reference on the little trivia bit, one wrestler that has been on every single iteration of this list from its beginning as the female 50 all the way to the women's 150. I see if y'all remember who it is now.
It's either Natalia or Lufisto.
It's now Natalia because Lufisto wasn't listed last year. She had to take time off due to, I believe it was a cancer diagnosis.
So. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
been treatment. So, but Natalia, 81 this year, has the only female wrestler be featured on this list every year.
Oh, JC, did you see what?
That was the other thing. Did you see Jason's
wait, hold
comment?
on.
I see it.
Wait, Jason, do you mean lower, like closer to the number one low, like numerically lower, or like more towards 50, 60, 70?
I think what he means is that she should be closer to the top 10. I'm just going to go with that
I would
because,
assume, yeah.
you know, that's how I'm going to go with it, right? Right,
But
Jason? You agree with me, right? Yeah. So,
But
She's a
he
peach.
is right that Julia should be way higher. I
got
not
a hot
understand.
take.
What's
Yeah.
up?
Maybe if she spelled
She
it
is
with the
pretty
J
hot.
instead of, well, yes, that.
that's a
But
pretty hot
maybe if
take.
she spelled it with a J instead of a G.
Oh, you know what? Go to hell, Mike. Asshole.
My lord. You guys have the list in front of you. Is there anybody on there that I guess that you were pretty happy to see make it this year, or someone that's going to? I don't know. Something that sticks out
I
for
know
you.
with all the ones you're happy. I think you'd be a little upset, Tommy. Someone I don't see on the list, which I'm really surprised with, considering your the person you're a number one fan of.
Either you're being sarcastic or being serious, and depending on which one
Well,
you're
I'm
talking
being
about.
serious that I don't believe she's in the top 150.
Okay, so if you're being
honestly,
serious, you're right. That's a travesty because
Oh, okay, I
Negative is not on anyone's list. No, you know what? You know what I meant. Wow, Jason, damn.
Oh no, we come back.
You know, you say that if she
No.
shows up in the PWI 500, y'all are still going to throw a fit. But anyway, go ahead.
Me and Tommy both agree that La Rosa Negra and Jasmine Allure should be higher on the list. I don't see why there was a fight there.
I agree. La Rosa Negra should be higher on the list.
Whoa. I mean, I do too.
I think Burns already booked this shit. So
Jasmine Allure.
yeah.
I mean, you know, I can't
Marina
even
Sharif is on the list. Or Shafir, I mean.
Yeah.
Marina Shafir,
was like the solution or the problem. I don't remember what they tried
Who
to
just signed with AEW, I believe, right? Yeah.
she just
so.
signed.
Officially, but she was there for a long time.
This is always my problem with lists like this because maybe it is just the personal bias and everything, and I fully admit to having it, but it's just like with someone like Rosa Negra who's always somewhere wrestling, like, you know, every weekend, you know, I feel like she should be at, like, she's not even in the 100 top 100. That makes sense to me, but you know, whatever, you know.
Hey,
something to consider thinking about this now with, you know, and I hate to say this, with the injury to Thunder Rosa, and it's a pretty devastating one. It's unfortunate because I really thought if she was healthy, she's a prime candidate to be number one on this list next year.
Yeah.
Obviously with the year she had, she got to number 3, and I'm proud of her. Like, literally, I'm carrying this around. Next time I see her, I really wanted to autograph this, get a picture with this, because I'm going to frame this, just the fact that she was there.
Yeah.
And we don't know if she's going to run. I mean, let's be honest, it's a devastating injury. We haven't talked to her or anything like that. But for her to get where she is and having not been able to rehab yet at this point, that's got to be tough. And it's a fear, you know. But in this time, though, she's still promoting, you know, Mission Pro. She's still doing her thing with it. You think she's going to invest a lot of time into this and really building up the talent that she has? And there's a good chance a lot of these Mission Pro wrestlers are going to be on this list next year.
Yeah,
you know,
because the way they book shows, for sure.
Yeah.
In response to Jason's question, I honestly don't believe she is. I really don't. I just feel like someone said that and everyone took it way too far. I just think that she's just not there because she just legit can't wrestle. So
I don't know if y'all saw the tweet from WrestleCade this past weekend. So their first tweet wasn't from WrestleCade's Twitter. It was from a wrestling group that was there or something, a wrestling page. But then WrestleCade confirmed it. They said Thunder Rosa's line was one of the longest all weekend at the fanfare for WrestleCade. That, you know, that fans were breaking out to chants for Thunder Rosa. So yeah, just
she's
she's
really an iconic wrestler for not just, you know, us in San Antonio and this regional, for Mexico. You know, she represents the U.S. and the Mexico side of things, and remarkable wrestler, great promo, and, you know,
And
get through the accent. It's not a big deal. Like, she's intense. You feel it.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
when AEW couldn't do anything other than get Britt Baker over, who was the person that broke through
yeah.
and got up to that level? Like, with all due respect, like Akira Shida, Riho, I mean, even Statlander, none of them, once Britt kind of got on that roll, could really reach that level. And Thunder Rosa came in, was the NWA champion, right there with you, Jason.
Yep.
Broke over, and got so popular, got so over that the fans wanted her from NWA to come in and was the one that dethroned Britt Baker. Whether there's real life heat between some of them and her, I don't know. Again, I don't know if Britt's in character when she says some of the things she says in interviews and on TV, if it's just part of the character to keep the feud up, or there's real stuff. But I mean, that's a simple way to put it. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's the same argument people that just wanted to hate on people like Kenny Omega for the hell of it because they weren't in WWE. Well, if he's not, dude's winning championships all over the world,
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's the same argument people make for like pretty much anyone who's not in WWE. It's like for instance, I'll put it this way: like when you talk about guys like Antonio Inoki or Giant Baba who are like forefathers or fathers of Japanese pro wrestling. They never made a career in WWE, but they made they made mountains in New Japan and All Japan. And they were never really WWE guys. And then you had guys like the Four Pillars with Kabashi and all those guys and other. I mean, this doesn't just because they're good on their own without the other world vehicles pushing them doesn't mean they should be hated on. They just mean that they just got over. And it's to me it's kind of like, and if you want to take a WWE example, look at someone like who's like, I mean, let's look at Daniel Bryan when he was there. He got over organically, as opposed to a guy like John Cena who was really pushed to be over. But John Cena was, really adapt to it. He managed to make that work. Bryan, and there's nothing wrong with either guy. Let me make that clear. I'm a huge fan of both guys. They did great stuff in their careers, and God bless them where they are now. I feel like they're wrestling Hall of Famers. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your Hall of Fame is. If it's wrestling related, John Cena and Bryan Danielson have to be going in there. They just have to. But it's like some people get over organically with their talent. Some people are pushed to the moon because they just connect with the audience in the front office, and that's the story of pro wrestling throughout the years, And
then some are Jay Cargill.
Damn it!
By the way, Bernsey, completely agree with you. I'm pretty sure all of us at least had brief conversations with her. I know Tommy has had. I know Steady said he's talked to her at some stuff where she was at in and around town. The nicest person. Always makes time for people. At that last show we were at, Tommy brought out some of the MPW people that she's pretty much like given the stamp of approval to.
Yeah,
to sing their praises and say, how much she loves them, how great they are. It was some of those people that would show up on AEW Dark and Elevation a lot.
Yeah. I will say one thing with me knowing Thunder Rosa is I remember back in the day, because if you know one of the security guys at Mission Pro, Jeremy, I remember when Jeremy and Brian, Thunder Rosa's husband, and another friend of theirs would all come to Thunder Rosa wherever she was having a show and just bring all her merch with them in their car and set up the table and stuff, because she wasn't well known then. I'm talking like 3 or 4 years ago, when she was just the local indie wrestler. They would just get her stuff around, and that's how she got over. Because I'm telling you right now, she never had no merch. I don't care if there are 5 people at that show. 5 people were going to know she had merchandise, because she set it up before the show. She would go out there during intermission, and she would be there after the show was over. And if 5 people were there, I guarantee you 3 people bought her merchandise at least. Because that's how she hustled. So the fact that she has a success in business with Mission Pro is not a surprise to me, because she's always hustled that hard. It sucks she's not in the ring, but if she has to retire and just promote Mission Pro from now on, well then honestly, it won't be long to me until Mission Pro gets a TV show. I'm sorry. Maybe it'll be some low budget, local news station shows every Saturday, or at 9 a.m. But she'll get one. Maybe it's just a title match network, but she'll have she already has that going. So what's the problem?
Kind of getting back to the list here. Is there somebody on this list that maybe you can see making a big jump higher on it next year?
So I know you guys are gonna grow, but like seriously, Julia, like given the year she's had so far, I feel like next year she could easily be in the top 10 if she beats Sayuri. I'm kind of thinking she might sometime soon. I could see her being number 1 next year. Honestly, I really could. So,
Mike, what about you?
I don't know. I'm kind of going back further down the list to look at some of the names. I know we were just talking about some of those. Rhea Ripley's at 42. Surely she's going to be close to that top 20 with kind of the resurgence, or not the resurgence, but the year she's having. Where were we at over here? Holodead.
when she gets back from injury.
Yeah, definitely, coming back. And Jamie Hayter, she's at 64. She's in the middle of a title run right now. So I'd probably, again, see her, at least top 20, depending on how well her run goes.
I have one I'm curious about is Willow Nightingale at 40. I feel like she should be higher. But I feel like she will be higher.
She will be after this year, yeah. I think she will be, definitely.
Jason says Masha Slamovich, who is currently at number 14 on this year's list.
Masha Slamovich is a beast. If Impact really lets her go, lets her do her thing, yeah, she can be in the top 10 next year. She's a beast, bro.
For me, and I think this person's gonna make the biggest jump, is Cora Jade. Debuted in 83. I think this is her first appearance on this list. She's only 3 years experience, but the heel turn on Roxanne Perez showed she's got some charisma. She can kind of work that.
Yeah.
And if she improves and gets potentially into the main roster and even makes a deep run in the NXT women's division, I can see her in a top 25, even top 20 of the list next year.
Yeah.
But I really think that she can make a huge jump. I think Raquel Rodriguez, who's 2 spots down, is at 85. And last year, it's crazy. She was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the biggest drops. And it's what is it? I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know if it's just the transition from NXT to WWE that's been such a struggle.
Well,
but what do they got to build up with her?
Didn't she come in right at the end of Vince's tenure?
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
Because I remember hearing things online about they wanted her to smile. Like they would that, like if you notice after she kind of debuted and was on there, she's always out there smiling and flexing.
Yeah.
And supposedly I may be wrong, maybe it was a Triple H thing, but I remember hearing that. And it's just one of those things where you change a little bit to what had worked, and then it takes a little bit to. I think it takes them a little bit to find themselves under that different character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also looking down on the 100s, Dakota Kai's at 119, Statlander's at 125. If they stay healthy, both of those should be top 50 easy, potentially, into those 20s as well, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
I see a lot of people online, and I mean, I would love anybody at this point, but I would definitely love Statlander as the one to dethrone Jade for that TBS women's title. So once she's healthy and back.
When was the last time Charlotte wrestled? Because
how long have we been enjoying wrestling? Oh, sorry. Just kidding.
Hold on.
I wouldn't doubt if that parallels that question. It's directly proportional to how much you've been. Yeah, I'll let you guys reach. That's interesting.
I think Ric Flair has wrestled more recently than Charlotte Flair.
I think you're right. Hold on, I'm checking because I have like cage match as like a favorite, like so.
Jason says, "Watch out for Masha Slamovich."
Yeah, she last wrestled in May.
Yeah. Huh. So okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Not just Backlash. WrestleMania back. That's what Jason
Let's
said.
think
And
about
I
this.
hate that name.
She wrestled in May. How long was she off TV before Mania?
Mhm.
A few months, right? Like she didn't even appear at the Rumble. Like there was some issue with the whole wedding or something like that. Like
Oh, no,
Vince.
no, she was at the Rumble.
But then she was off TV for like 2 months, right?
She
Was
was
that
at
the
the
year
Rumble.
before or was that this year?
I thought it was this year because Cheetah was in a WrestleMania this year, was she?
She she wrestled Ronda Rousey. She beat
Okay,
her.
so it was the year before. Okay.
It was the year before. So
God,
No,
this last 2 years has just been like blur.
yeah, they have been a blur, like for real.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah, I would definitely take that too, Jason.
I would like it to be Willow only because like I've met her. She is such a sweetheart. She's such a nice person.
So if you would have met Statlander, you would feel differently?
Probably not. I don't know.
Well, that is an interesting question when you look at this. Like, look at the. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. And it's nothing against Charlotte Flair. Yeah, we joke about how she's always there at the top and everything, but
how is she 8? Is what you're getting back to?
How is she 8? Like I don't remember much of what she did this year.
Well, I mean, she shouldn't be 8 if she missed at least like this thing ended in what, September? Yeah, but that was 4 months beforehand. Like.
So does that mean she would have been top 3 had she had a few matches afterwards?
I don't even know. Yeah, if she hasn't wrestled since May, it's been what, 4 months of the last evaluation period? So, I mean, there was the I Quit match with Ronda Rousey. That was her last one.
I don't even remember how that ended. I assume Ronda said I quit.
I don't know. Don't know. That's the thing. It was.
Did someone throw in a towel?
I don't know if it's just because we feel like we hit the proverbial reset button when Triple H.
There is a lot to that, I think.
Yeah, so
I think that has a huge part of it.
Yeah. So, but it is. I mean, I don't know. She's really been on TV.
Yeah, but okay, I can't lie. Again, my bias slips in because even though she's not in Stardom, she's in Tokyo Joshi Pro at number 12. Miyu Yamashita. There's a joke because of her kicks. Everyone. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this joke that she's like the female Asian Malachi Black because she's like so lethal with her kicks. There's even a picture of them backstage because she did a couple shows for AEW when she was in America for a tour, and she even took a picture of Malachi Black backstage, which was really cool. But it's like I don't know how you can have someone who's 8 who missed at least 4 months. I'm not saying Charlotte's not good. I'm just saying, like, that's 4 months, and all the rest of these people were wrestling the entire time.
Every Josie should be ahead of Charlotte Flair.
I won't say every. I'll say most.
Oh, Jason says Ronda actually won the WrestleMania. She won the Smack. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Ronda won. Yeah, so
she won the I Quit match.
Yeah,
because at WrestleMania, Charlotte won. She won the I Quit, but Ronda won the return.
Oh, okay, that was. I got you.
Yeah.
Which I don't get why she. I don't. But see, this is how bad I remember. It's like I don't remember why she got that return match when she lost at Mania. I was like, why the hell did she get a rematch? What the? Yeah. Okay.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Or sure. I don't know. I forget who's who.
Yeah.
I forget who's who.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for participating on this too. I've seen the chats now. For sharing your opinions. Now the magazine itself, it is the current Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, PWI-online.com. You can get a digital copy or order your print copy. And one of the cool things they did this year in it, and I highly recommend getting it just to read it, is they had a section after the 150 list, which was called the Scouting Report. And they do an in-depth analysis of women's wrestling worldwide by their division. So there's a spotlight on the Raw women's division, the SmackDown women's division, NXT 2.0, and yes, NXT 2K, now gone but never forgotten. So they had a little write-up about that. Then they dive into AEW's women's division, Impact, World Wonder Ring Stardom, have that as well. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Then they look at the Joshi Independence, analyze that. They spend 2 pages looking at that for sure.
There's a lot.
The U.S. Indies, the UK Indies. Let's see. Spotlight on Mexico, Oceania, Europe, the NWA, and even Ring of Honor, which I thought was really cool. I thought that was really awesome that they did that, and it's pretty in depth. They look at some of the highlights and list a lot of top performers, some potential up and coming wrestlers when they get onto the independents and things like that. So, definitely worth picking up the magazine just for that. I think it was pretty cool.
Just saw Jason's
So-
comment.
Yeah. Oh my God. Is Ronda the new Charlotte? Right. Yeah.
God.
So.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
But final thought on this, with Thunder Rosa, I really hope this isn't the last time we see her on this list with all the injuries and everything she's got going on. But I really hope to see you back, Rosa. It just be amazing for you to come back, win a title, have a run, get healthy, do some DDP yoga. That might help, right? And potentially be number
apparently
one.
it's the cure-all for wrestling.
Yeah. I mean,
Got a pretty
prior
good track record, so
to your injury, I really thought you were going to grace the cover of this as number one, but you still have a chance to get there. It's never say never in wrestling, right? But the final person I would want to say that I could see getting a bit higher is number 36, Roxanne Perez. I thought she should have been higher this year. Won the first Ring of Honor title, had a drop. It's been in WWE, has already made such an impact on NXT. And I really expect her to be one of the main rosters, Raw or SmackDown, very soon. So, and really could see her making some waves too. But yeah, for sure. So, and just to let you guys know, also, if you get the copy of the magazine, they already have the ballot in there for the 2022 Achievement Awards. So, see if there's any new categories this year. Ooh, Faction of the Year.
Oh, that's actually hard to call this year.
Mm-hmm.
Is CM Punk and Ace Steel one of the factions?
Right.
I'm
And
sorry.
CM Punk's
That joke was in such poor taste, but I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, so that's kind of what they had in there. And one of the fun things PWI always does every issue is talking trash. Have you guys ever seen this stuff? They kind of list like 10 little headlines and then give an idea on it. Like, for example, number 10, Triple H is named Chief Content Officer of WWE. In a related story, Guy Fieri edged out Gordon Ramsay for the job of Chief Content Officer. Some of the ones that stuck out to me. MJF returns to AEW. It was the second most talked about appearance by a wrestling villain, right behind the debut of a new bad guy known as Media Scrum. So, call it what you want. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fun stuff.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Good stuff. Anyway, here we go. Jade Cargill dresses as She-Hulk for her match at All Out. The moment overshadowed Blackpool Combat Club's cosplay as Birdie the Early Bird and the Fry Guys.
Okay.
They do fun stuff on this. But anyway, yeah, I think this was a good issue to pick up because they did that breakdown of the women's divisions as well. So let us know your thoughts if you got to watch it afterward on the list. Maybe what your top 10 would be. If you're watching live, feel free to do that as well too. And we'll see if Stardom keeps hold of the list. People are starting to take notice of what's going on there in Japan. So
they can do it. They can do it. Sorry, producers. My apologies.
All right, with that, we'll move into our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
I do.
All right, whenever you're ready, sir, get set and go.
All right. As many of us have been wrestling fans for a long time, there are what-ifs that have been talked about throughout the years. What if WCW had won the Monday Night Wars? What if Steve Austin had not walked away from that Monday Night Raw afterwards? Things like that. My current what if, it's not even one that's set in stone yet, but it's one that's bugged me a little bit since it got started. And that is, what if the Blackpool Combat Club was legitimately allowed to be a dominating faction? Because you teased us by bringing together Mox, Bryan Danielson, Claudio. You bring in Wheeler Yuta and turn him into an AEW star, but they never fully felt like they were functioning like a faction. And AEW is full of factions that work together, that jump each other, jump the opponents for their fellow guys. And I just feel like, there was always like two of them were working together. Claudio was working with Wheeler. Sometimes Brian and Mox would be together, but they would never completely just work as a unit, mainly because those three of those guys were kind of main event in their own stories. And it may still work out. William Regal may be leaving. Possibly there was friction between some of the members. I just would have loved to see a solid, even if it was a few months, where they are dominating like a faction, working together to put AEW on notice. It had such potential at the beginning. And it's not that it's horrible. I just think there could have been so much more out of it.
Right. Good old wrestling what-ifs, right? So,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, do you have something this week?
Yeah.
All right. Ready and go.
Mine is just congratulations to AR Fox on getting signed with AEW because I'm a huge AR Fox fan. And this is one of the reasons why I'm loving the current climate of pro wrestling because I just read Jason's comment. With guys like AR Fox, Eddie Kingston, dudes who have been on the indies for a long time, and finally getting a signed company gig, is just really cool. And AR Fox is one of those guys. I've seen him live a couple of times. I met him once. Super legit dude, super down to earth, super cool. And it's just really cool to see him, get his due. And it was cool of Top Flight to put him over when they did the 6-man tag against Death Triangle. I think it was Dynamite a couple weeks back. And they put him over in a backstage segment, and that led to him, I think, getting that contract because a lot of people agreed and vocalized Top Flight's opinion. So, just congrats to him. And this is why, I like I said, loving this current climate of pro wrestling because people can get jobs, get work, and be paid for it. Because little side note, I wore my AEW jacket hanging up in the back there today when I was going to work, and some dude across the Vista parking lot yelled, "AEW sucks." Now, he didn't say it to my face. He yelled it across the parking lot and kept going. But I remember thinking to myself, dude, you don't want to get into a wrestling argument with me. You do not have the ammunition to do this. If you're going to yell any company sucks to me, you got ready to back it up. But don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So
be ready to debate it. Come in the chat and debate it with us if you want.
Yeah, seriously. Sure. It's like AEW sucks. Prove it. And I don't mean by the fact that you hate the Young Bucks because that's literally the first thing you're going to say. What else you got?
Now, Mike, here's Jason's response.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and when Daniel Garcia didn't turn on Jericho, it really killed a lot of momentum. Yeah. As much as I love Jericho and what he does, sometimes he dominates the attention and the things of a feud, and it doesn't work out as well as it could. But anyways.
Yeah. All right, for my 1-minute warning, and this is an argument that starts every year within my family and friends, right after right after Halloween, I should say, and that is this: I don't like any Christmas stuff up in my house until Thanksgiving is over. Okay, there's a holiday between Halloween and Christmas. How does this relate to wrestling? Well, people have wondered why Dominik Mysterio attacked his dad at Thanksgiving. And in his home, that whole ordeal that happened. And when asked, he said, I quote, "I attacked him because he had his Christmas tree up before November was even over." Look, I've always been a long-time advocate of the hashtag keep Christmas in December. And it's not that I hate Christmas. I do enjoy Christmas. But I get tired of the fact that shopping gets crazy. People get nuts. I call Black Friday the purge now because that's what it's turned into when people go into stores. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. For me personally, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday every year. It's a chance for when we celebrate with my family this year, we all get together, we all bring a dish, we all help each other cook. It's one of the few times now as I'm older that I get that opportunity to spend that time with my family, talk about things, and actually cook with them, but I haven't done since I was a kid, right? And it's kind of cool to see all the families together, get that, enjoy a meal, take a nap, watch football, and then have dessert. So, Dominik, I'm with you. If you got your Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving, it's annoying to me. All you're doing is taking up more room that you can fit another table and some chairs in there for more people of your family and friends to sit there and enjoy the meal with you. And I saw a TikTok around this too. please, if you suffer from premature tree ejaculation, which is you have your Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving, this is probably a reason why your macaroni and cheese is dry and your cornbread just doesn't hold up very well. Try and enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. There is a holiday in there. And I do love the memes that where the turkey is just yelling, "Wait your turn, fat boy. Thanksgiving is in November." After that, feel free to decorate to your heart's content. I'm good with it. So
there's that old joke about the girl who brings her boyfriend home, and she goes, "Daddy, can you pass the salt?" And the boyfriend and the dad reach for the salt shaker. That was Rey Mysterio and Rhea at the table, and Dom was like, "Daddy," because she said he wants Poppy, he gets Poppy. He wants Mommy, he gets Mommy. Just saying.
Dominik Mysterio, I'm with you. I get it. Hashtag Q Christmas in December. That's
Wait, are we talking about Rhea Ripley? Or are we talking about just attacking his dad for Thanksgiving?
Wow.
Whatever it is.
Okay, because yes, for both,
well,
sure.
Yeah,
well, real quick, I do love the fact that Rhea Ripley totally is in for these jokes. Like, if you ever watch interviews, dude, she loves them, and I don't think she knows her audience. She knows what we want. She knows what we want.
Yeah. You really want to split people? Have this conversation. Politics or religion? No, talk about when the Christmas decorations go up, because this happens.
In all seriousness, the funniest thing about Rhea is when you see her in most interviews, she honestly seems like the sweetest, most unassuming person. So I can only imagine it's fun for her, but also just such an acting thing to become the Rhea that we see on TV, most times. Because like every other interview I see her, she's like half like shy laughing at people talking to her and stuff. So I don't know. I just think it's funny.
But Jason said it best, though. Jason said it best. That's it.
Tommy, Tommy, we won't share our discussion in our
No, that's confidential.
Okay, steady. You say this. All right, look.
Well, that's true about a lot of things from each of us, but yes.
Yeah, but that being said, he agrees with me. He agrees with me. So
but steady. Shouldn't we get a shirt that says that the opinions of the WrestleCast are not the opinion of the Geekcast Network?
I think that's in general. Have you guys listened to the Geekcast? Like, I would say the opinions of Joe Garcia are not the opinions of the entire Geekcast Network, because we differ on a lot of stuff.
Well, Steady knows my opinions on hashtag Restore the Snyderverse are not the opinions of the Geekcast. So.
And we don't cover a lot. And you guys don't cover a lot of anime on the Geekcast. So if you guys do that more often, I'm sure I'll have strong opinions on the Geekcast.
Well, look, you might potentially see me on the Geekcast a little bit more often the next few weeks, because his Dark Material season 3 starts on Monday.
Oh, they're talking about Willow. I was like, heck yeah, Willow.
Willow 2 as well, yes. And
I was very interested in Willow.
Willow, for sure. God, take back my childhood, right? But yes, season 3 of his Dark Materials, my favorite book trilogy, and it's the first time we're going to see some iteration of the Amber Spyglass in live action form, and I cannot wait. It is such an intricate book of the trilogy, and definitely my favorite of the 3, and I'm really, really excited to see how they put this all together. So it starts Monday on HBO, probably HBO Max the next day, BBC if you can. Excuse me. Get it online early for sure, yes. So, well, thank you everyone for joining us on this week's episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. We do appreciate it. Next week, we are going to be previewing 2 shows that are happening on the same night at the same time: NXT Deadline and ROH Final Battle.
3 shows.
3. Oh, yes.
Mission Pro.
That's right. And Tommy, I know that reminded me. Yes, Tommy, I'm going to give you an opportunity now. What is going on this weekend on the San Antonio independent scene?
This weekend is Brandon Outlaw Wrestling, our final show of the year. The main event will be, get ready for this, Shane Taylor versus Rodney Mack.
Ooh.
Yeah, Rodney Mack, who I saw at my HQ the other day. Also, big match sign. It's Shiva versus Aaron Mercer in a street fight. They both have been asking for this on social media, and gave it to him. And Rhea will be back, and he'll be defending. I think he's defending the Cruiserweight Championship against DeMarcus Rashad, which personally I can't wait for.
I should add that next week is actually going to be 4 shows now. RCW announced today they are going to have a quick show on the 11th of December, a Christmas Chaos show back at the Grand Event Center.
That's true.
And discounted tickets as well, basically $20 off their normal price. So check out the RCW website. I think it's rcw-wrestling.com. They still have the website, right? And for your tickets to that event too as well. Going to be a very, very busy weekend of wrestling next week.
Previews galore.
Previews galore. And really for us, these might be kind of like winding down for us at the end of the year. I think we're going to be doing these previews next week. We'll recap them the following week. Get a little break for the Christmas holiday. And then after that, it'll be our year-end award show, guys.
Maybe want to do a preview show for Dynamite in San Antonio?
Oh, yeah. Well, I figured we could do that with the recap, but...
Or a recap of it, yeah.
Yeah, because with everything that's happening that week, it's going to be hard for us to get one because, like, we are going to be there. I'm pretty sure we're going to be tweeting live videos from us at the Freeman Coliseum. I'm trying to really see if I can get my kids to dress up as Orange Cassidy and or Thunder Rosa and or Darby Allin, whoever they want to dress up as. So, but they're excited to go. My daughter is just constantly, whenever she wants to confirm something, is just doing this all the time.
Nice.
It's hilarious. Yeah. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I can't believe I forgot. There's so much happening this month. That's a crazy day because like we're gonna be going to AEW. The next day we're driving out of town for Christmas. So, but definitely that last week of December, we are going to have our year-end award show. Come up with our year-end awards that we do, pay-per-views, all of our fun awards that we like to do. And the following week after that, let me check my calendar to make sure I have the dates right here. Let me see here. Okay. After that will be the show that Tommy gets to host as we talk about Wrestle Kingdom. What number is it now?
Wow, I think it's 17 or 15.
Yeah, so Wrestle Kingdom will be kicking off the new year, of course, as well, and we'll be discussing that a bit for sure as kick off the new year. So,
yeah, Jason, we are. It's going to be match 5 at our show,
which is my favorite of all the 5 of the best of 7 series.
I mean, it's always the most pivotal game of a 7-game series usually.
And they just put the score at 2-1 because I think the Elite scored.
They did.
Yeah.
Elite picked up the win last night.
So, looking forward to it,
And
man.
I think that's also the week after Ricky Stark's title match. So
because that'll be. Is it bad that I'm considering driving up for that? Like
No.
I legit, I'm like, because Vista will be closed. I'm not working until that Friday. I was legit thinking, maybe just chill my brother up there that day and just go up there for that.
If you can get tickets, look, Ricky Starks, man. I know he's built out of New Orleans, but he's a Texas kid.
Oh no, I
as far as
everybody that.
as far as his indie wrestling goes, we saw him grow up. I know you saw him a lot, but we saw him grow up. I remember seeing him in Inspire Pro shows, and some of those. So I mean,
he's come a long way from getting thrown through a table by Ryback for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I tell everybody this is that Lance Hoyt said it best. Like when NWA had him at first before the lockdown and everything, it's like they got a real talent when they signed Ricky, and of course, and unfortunately, all this stuff happened. But now he's in AEW, and now everyone sees how good this guy is, and and rightfully so. So. I'm guessing he won't win at Winter's Coming, of course, but part of me hopes, dude, only because he's Ricky freaking Starks.
Again, to build your faces and to continue having MJF as the heel. He gets a pin when the ref is knocked out or distracted, and then MJF wins. That's honestly what I want to see because I think that works best for all parties involved.
Yeah.
Lots on the horizon to close out the year, and Mike is going to spend the next few weeks coming up with a catchphrase for 2023.
The pressure.
The pressure. Yeah, we're going to go forward with
hey, guys, the plane is flat now.
Nope. We're working on it. We're working on it, people. Yeah.
Yeah, go back to the drawing board on that one, Mike.
Drawing board. No.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us once again. Be sure to check out. Oh my God, what just happened?
Jesus
Is
I mean,
is that? I assume that's not because you want to see her in greener pastures, or is that? I don't
No,
know.
it is. It's because
Oh,
NWA
okay.
is it's because NWA is getting ridiculous all of a
That's what
sudden.
I've heard.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, like in one fell swoop, they squandered so much goodwill. It was amazing. I have never seen a
Okay.
fall from grace that fast since since all of them. But since Hogan and Bischoff and TNA.
Whoa.
thank you everyone for joining us on this week's episode of the WrestleCast. And yes, it is December. You can start putting Christmas decorations up now if you haven't already.
Yeah, I gotta see my calendars. Yeah.
We'll be back next week again to preview 4 wrestling shows, NXT Deadline, and Ring of Honor Final Battle, Mission Pro, and RCW. And yes, of course, you can check out our t-shirt site, the Countdown City Geekcast t-shirt site, where Mike has just ordered his Countdown City WrestleCast t-shirt. Go get yours today. And some late breaking news. And yes, Steady told me about this at work. We do work together. He is now officially a fan of Sami Zayn.
Oh wow.
Took you long enough.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Give it the time.
He, as the way he put it, he really had a problem with the whole Sami Zayn / Fidel
Jason
Castro
said
thing.
it best.
Yeah, there it is. Boom.
I was
Uzi.
trying to think of an Uzi joke and I couldn't in time.
Yeah. I think I'm going to tell Steady that from now on. You Steady, great to see you on the Geekcast. Stay Uzi, my friend.
Stay Uzi.
Yeah.
They have a Feeling Uzi shirt now that I think we should all look into getting.
We need to make like a Stay Uzi, my friend. You're just kind of like a most interesting man in the world. Just throwing that out there. All right. Appreciate everybody joining us here. Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
See you next week.
Boom. Adios, Gunther.